Today we're going to be taking a look at Avatar Legends, the role-playing game. Specifically, right now we're actually just doing a quote-unquote unboxing. I've actually just removed the plastic, haven't looked inside yet, but to save time, removed it. So we're going to be looking at the Republic City Setting Toolkit, the Movers and Shakers Quick Start book, and then the Rebels and Refugees Adventure. Now, these are part of the Avatar Legends role-playing game. These essentially are add-ons for the game, but are not needed for the game in general. Now, we have never done any videos that included the Avatar Legends role-playing game, and so we actually have the game, the adventure guide from our personal collection, along with a few other items that we're going to go ahead and show you, and I believe all of these items are still available. We actually got these at the Mercenary Market we've talked about before, basically as a swap meet for tabletop gaming. In it we have the combat action deck, we have the dice pack, and these are basically just regular D6s, but instead of the sixes you have your faction logo. We have this handy map of the known world showing the individual kingdoms. And then we also have these books. Now, from what I understand, these are meant to be for notes and things like that for your campaign, for the different characters. Now, inside these are completely blank. I don't know if the newer versions have anything inside other than that. But you can doodle in there, like as far as like symbols or what your character looks like, things like that, as well as like put like actual important stat information as well. Now, we actually have not had a chance to play the game yet, and so we're actually looking forward to doing it. Avatar: The Last Airbender is by far one of the best quasi-anime type shows that I've watched. Absolutely love it, start to finish, and is something I thought would make into a great role-playing game. And so I always wanted the chance to play. And then here are those cards, and it looks like these are meant to kind of help with for players that are basically playing a one-player mode, assuming that there is one. Like I said, I have not played the game yet. So today we're going to take a look at the materials. All of these, like I said, are available through Magpie Games online store, as well as other tabletop related stores. So, Republic City, this was announced, I want to say a couple years ago, and I was very excited about it, and that's about actually when we picked up the game itself from that swap meet. And we're really hoping we could get into this, because the Legend of Korra era is probably my favorite, because I love the blending of technology with the magic of the benders. And so really hoping I could get into this. But at the time when I requested to review it, the folks at Magpie were not interested in our channel at that time. But with our recent review of their Urban Shadows game, they were really happy with that and agreed to allow us the opportunity to review this edition of the game. Now, this character, I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, is by far one of my favorite villains through the entire franchise. The fact that he had kind of used nerve blocking techniques to disable the bending from some of the benders themselves, I thought was really cool. We also have mechanized warriors and things like that are essentially suits people can wear. And then we have different character classes. and also some adventures to use for your games as well. I'm hoping, and again, you know, I have not looked through here before this time. I'm hoping though that there is a campaign story or something along those lines that allows you to actually play in the vendor tournaments, because I thought that was a fantastic introduction into like seeing new abilities, you know, kind of forcing the characters to fight more in a more peaceful world, as opposed to the constant fighting and warring between the firebenders of Angstheim and everybody else. So movers and shakers, that also takes place during the same Korra era. Now each one of these says exactly which era it comes in. That's the 100-Year War era. And then they actually have one in Kickstarter right now with Beetle and Grimm, or Beetle and Grimm's, I can't remember their exact name, that takes place, I believe, during Roku's era. And from what I've seen of it, it looks really cool. So definitely check that out if you're able. And especially if you are fans of the game or fans of the series. Like I said, from what I've seen, it looks like it's going to be a great addition. Looking at this, you know, the attention to detail, the images that they use from the show, or shows rather, are definitely great additions, and you know, kind of help remind you of those eras and areas and things like that. And then this even includes some of the characters that you'll be dealing with throughout the game as you go. And so that sets you up for that campaign, basically an entire campaign in a single book where you're not having to create your own. So that way, you know, if you and your players, you know, if you are the game master, you know, if you guys are focused on a certain era, then you know, you'd only pick up the ones that are related to that era. Now, I believe the 100-Year War that this one takes place in, I believe that's more centered around Aang and his time asleep versus the time after he woke up. But that's just my guess based on the name, because he was asleep for about 100 years, from what I recall. But the attention to detail in here, just at a glance, looks fantastic. I cannot wait to try each of these campaigns out, as well as explore Republic City. But you know, since this is the first time we've actually opened these up, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the adventure guide as well as the actual core book itself, just so that way you guys can take a look as well. And again, these items are all available. So like this adventure guide, it includes, you know, some of the characters from the show, from that era as well, including Zuko and all of them. So very cool to see them. And then it actually includes some adventures in here, the Kyoshi era. So that's really cool. I was not expecting that, to have additional eras in the same book. So I'm hoping that we see some other books like this down the road, where we have more kind of spread between them. So like Ash and Steel's 100-Year War adventure. Let's see what other adventures there are. Aang era adventure, Air and Wind. And a Korra era adventure, Water and Mist. So this basically covers, you know, a story campaign from each of the main eras, which is really cool. Like I said, I had no idea that it did. And then lastly, the core rulebook, which we've now stacked this too high and it's interfering with the camera. But artwork is fantastic. I love that they used, you know, scenes from the show to, you know, help build this, and it does go through each of the different eras. So we have the Roku, the Kyoshi, the 100-Year War, the Aang, and the Korra era. Now, you know, I would hope that down the road, depending on how successful this game continues to be, that we're going to see other eras down the road too. I can't remember the original Avatar. I want to say his name was Juan, maybe. I'm probably pulling that completely out of my ass. But it was a really interesting story that they touched on during Legend of Korra towards the end of the series. And so with that, maybe we'll see his era come around with some of the stuff that was going on there. If we do, that would be amazing, because I would love to explore that timeline, probably more than any other. But all of the named avatars that we've seen in the show, I think could easily be adapted into different eras, and I am so excited for the opportunity to really get into this game and play it and dig into each of these campaigns and books further. Thankfully for me, my group is also a bunch of Last Airbender fans, and so they're definitely gonna get excited about playing this one, because this is something I actually have not told them about. So given that opportunity will be really cool. So these are all different character options, like the rogue, the icon, the successor, and about basically it says advancement. I'm guessing that's leveling up, and then running adventures and dealing with escalations, things like that, and then appendix area with techniques, and then we have essentially stat pages for some of the different characters. So very excited, very cool stuff. Cannot wait to try this out with my friends, and can't wait to share with you guys what it's all about. So that's it for today. I expect that it'll probably be a week or two before we actually get a chance to not just play the game thoroughly, but to at least collect all of our thoughts on the game as a whole. And then probably, I would say likely a week after that, at the very least, before we come back with our review. So definitely stay tuned for that. And if you are a fan of the show, definitely check it out. One thing I did forget to show, this one is a bit of a mess. This is actually the dice bag that we got with it as well. The guy that he included this with everything else when we got it, said that it was also part of the Kickstarter, but it's a bit of a mess, and that's because it's basically sat in the back of a shelf collecting dust for quite a while before I got it from him. And then that was almost a year ago when I got that, maybe longer, and it's been doing the same thing here, because I was just waiting until I had the chance to actually pick up the Republic City book, and was not originally expecting to be able to get a review copy. So very excited about that. Thank you as always for watching. Thank you to the folks at Magpie for sharing those books with us. We cannot wait to check them out. And as always, again, thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.